Hey everyone, it's Carlos from Nordic Kappa. E3 is happening right now, and it's an important source of gaming information that will help us to determine what to expect from the industry's top developers. In this series, I'm going to briefly go over all of the press conferences held at E3 here in Los Angeles. To start things off, I'm quickly going to recap Sony's huge announcements at the event. So, huge announcements came from the PlayStation camp yesterday at the E3 conference. Starting with PlayStation VR, it's set to release on October 13th of this year, 2016. Its price is to be set at $400 US. Now that's pretty good compared to the Oculus, which is what we have now at $600 US, or the HTC Vive at $800 US. So, the $400 price comparison there is pretty fair, although you do have to keep in mind that you need a PlayStation 4 to use a PlayStation VR. So in total, you're looking to spend around, I don't know, maybe $800 to $900 if you're planning to get some games. There are to be 50 launch titles that are going to come out within the next few months until the end of 2016. Some of those titles are the Star Wars Battlefront X-Wing VR missions. I'm not really sure if those are independent games, as in like standalone games that you can buy. It seems like it was more of an add-on, based on what they showed at the E3 conference. There's also Batman Arkham VR, which they didn't show any gameplay of, so I can't really formulate an opinion on that. There's also Farpoint VR, which was pretty interesting. I'll include some screenshots here in the video as you're listening to me here. There's also Final Fantasy 15 VR. That was a little bit confusing to me because, well, it seems like they're kind of shoehorning VR into games that don't necessarily require VR or won't necessarily play well with VR. It seems like Sony's kind of going to these developers saying, hey, include some VR elements here and there and you'll be rewarded for it. Because Final Fantasy is more of an RPG game, you play it from a top-down perspective. You play... What I'm basically trying to say is that it wasn't meant for VR. Now, although it wasn't expressly announced, the PlayStation 4 Neo was confirmed by Sony during the event, although not during the press conference. It was rather confirmed, as an inside kind of thing. So it's basically the new version of the PlayStation 4. Its release date hasn't been confirmed yet, but it's expected to cost about the same as the current PS4, which is roughly $300 US. Now, I don't know what to really say about that other than I think it's going to cost a little bit more, just because the hardware inside of the PlayStation 4 Neo is going to be a little more powerful than our current gen PS4, what we have now. Now, both the Neo and the standard PS4 will support the same library of games, so won't completely alienate current PS4 owners, which is pretty nice. But at the same time, some developers are expressing concerns over developing games for both consoles because they see that as quite a challenge. Now, I don't really know too much about, coding games or anything like that, but for PC, for example, if you want to play games at a lower graphical fidelity, all you would have to do is just hop into the settings and tweak things like anti-aliasing or textures or things like that. Now, I don't know if it's gonna work the same way in the PlayStation 4 Neo, where the developers would just have to tweak a few settings in order for the game to look better on the Neo as compared to the standard PS4. But it will be interesting to see what happens there. Now, a big rumor is that the PlayStation 4 Neo is to support 4K gaming. Now, I'm extremely doubtful of this because most PC graphics cards in the same price range as the Neo, which, 300, maybe 400 US, still struggle to hit 4K in most games, most modern games, I mean to say. So it'll be interesting to see where Sony goes with this new console as well. Sony came out swinging with their first-party titles. Now, there were a lot of things that they did announce. Here are just a few that really caught my eye. So, starting with Crash Bandicoot remakes, Sony, Activision, and Naughty Dog have partnered up to remaster Crash Bandicoot, Crash Bandicoot 2, and Crash Bandicoot Warped. It'll be interesting to see what they do with this because, OG's PlayStation titles like this basically put Sony on the map. So, it'll be nice to see these games come up again. A lot of people were excited about this next one, and I was frankly very excited about this one. The new God of War. It's simply titled God of War, and it's not God of War 4. Now, don't get that confused with this new game being a remake, because it's not. It's just called God of War, which is, really nice. So in the trailer, Kratos and his son are shown basically hunting in the wild and combating this really huge titan of some sort. Now, in terms of graphical fidelity, this game kicks ass. I was really impressed at what was shown in the trailer. It was amazing. It was stunning. And I currently do not own a PlayStation 4, but I think I'm going to pick one up pretty soon just to play God of War and a few other titles that I'm going to mention later on. Now, the gameplay, like I said, it looks extremely smooth. The graphics look really amazing. And it's basically something that we would expect from a first-party title coming from the Sony camp. Another new game that I was really excited to know about was Hideo Kojima's new game. It's called Death Stranding, which, simple name, but Kojima has been known to convey pretty serious messages in his Metal Gear games, right? This new project seems to continue with this tradition because, when you look at the trailer, it just looks, wow, it gives you this kind of eerie, kind of dark vibe, and it's very serious. You can tell that this game is going to be very serious, and it's going to tackle very very harsh and serious tones and themes and all this throughout the game. The trailer itself depicts a man. The man is played by Norman Reedus from The Walking Dead. He was also the man that played the main character in the PT demo for Silent Hills in the PlayStation 4, which later got removed by Konami because, well, we know how much assholes work for Konami. So yeah, that happened. But anyways, this man is depicted on a beach attached to a baby through some sort of umbilical cord, and while Reedus, the main character, is grieving over something he's thinking about, we really don't know, he realizes that he and the baby are stranded on an abandoned beach full of dead whales and dead fish. It just, the trailer itself looks really serious, and the explanation I'm giving right now gives the trailer absolutely no justice at all, so I do recommend watching the trailer to really get a good feel for it. I don't feel like this game will disappoint at all. I think this is Kojima's chance to really deviate away from the Metal Gear and Konami kind of scene, because I feel like Konami was really hindering his ability to be extremely creative. I feel like this is going to be Hideo Kojima's time to shine. He is no longer being held by Konami's iron fist, and on top of that, Sony seems to be really embracing Kojima's artistic direction. So, this is one of those games that would really make me buy a PlayStation 4 just to play it. Another game announced for the PlayStation camp was The Last Guardian. It's set to be released on October 25th of this year, 2016. The game was originally announced for the PlayStation 3 back in 2009 at E3, but it was later revealed that the development had shifted to the PS4. Hopefully this hasn't affected gameplay in a negative way that much, as games that change platforms like this so quickly are very susceptible to noticeable screw-ups. Take games like Assassin's Creed, for example. This game looks really nice, although it appears to still have somewhat of a last-generation graphical feel to it. Now, honestly, I don't know what to feel about this game. I haven't really looked forward to this game. I know a lot of people have. Don't kill me in the comments for it, or kill me, I guess. But it's not a game I would go out and buy a PlayStation 4 for, basically. Some of you may like this game. I'll include screenshots in this video. Now, don't get me wrong, it looks like it's a fun game to play. It's just not a game I would play. The next big game that was announced was Horizon Zero Dawn. Now, this game really caught my eye. This is one of those games that I would definitely buy a PlayStation 4 for. It's set to launch on February 28th of next year, 2017. Now, it looks truly fantastic. It's amazing. As a comparison, it sort of reminds me of what you would expect The Witcher 3 to look like on a PC, which is really saying something. Now, The Witcher 3, in terms of graphics and frame rates and all that, if you have a decently running PC, it was amazing, and it reminded me of that. The PlayStation 4 playing Horizon Zero Dawn was absolutely stunning. Now, The trailer that was shown was gameplay footage. It was directly recorded from a PlayStation 4, which that blew my mind. It really did. I am definitely going to pick up a PlayStation 4 to just play this game. The game is open world. It contains a lot of RPG elements like leveling up weapons and characters. The trailer shows the main female character destroying lots of robotic creatures with a bow and arrow. So it kind of has like this futuristic feel to it, but at the same time, it has this kind of old, a kind of Witcher 3 feeling to it. You can ride these horse looking things. I don't really know what they're called, but they're amazing. Again, I'm doing the trailer absolutely no justice here, so if you have time, definitely look at the trailer for yourself. It's Horizon Zero Dawn. As always with these huge E3 press conferences, they're just a plethora of games that are announced. There were many other games that were announced for the PlayStation 4, which I'm sure many of you are interested in playing. So here's a quick rundown of what we should expect from the Sony camp in the next couple of months. I'll include screenshots in this video to just quickly show you what these games look like. I'm sure that you'll be impressed just as I was. That about wraps everything up. I hope that you've all enjoyed this quick overview on the Sony press conference. Stay tuned to the Nordic Kappa channel to view our summary of the Microsoft press conference. If you like this video, then drop us a like. If not, give us a dislike and tell us why you hated this video. Also, if you want to see more content like this in the future, then subscribe to Nordic Kappa. That would really be appreciated. Thanks, and we hope to see you next time. Again, stay tuned for our Microsoft press conference coverage and our Ubisoft press conference coverage. Thank you.